Hello BookTube, this is Weekly Reads. I started my reading week with a reread of The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. The Grapes of Wrath is set during the Great Depression of the 1930s. It is the story of an Oklahoman farming family called the Jodes who migrate from Oklahoma after they have been evicted from their land to California in search of a better life. The novel begins when Tom Joad is released from prison and he heads back to the Joad family farm. On the way, he meets a former preacher named Casey who is questioning his faith, and together they head to the farm. There they see that the farm has been abandoned and the house wrecked, and learn that Tom's family has moved to a relative, Uncle John's farm. So the Jodes are composed of Pa and Ma, Tom's parents. Pa is Tom Sr. Ma's name is never revealed. Tom has an older brother, this being Pa, Uncle John. Their parents are Grandpa and Grandma. Grandpa is William. Again, Grandma's name is never revealed. For Tom Jr.'s siblings, he has an older brother, Noah, and two younger sisters, Rose of Sharon, who is 18, and Ruthie at 12, and two younger brothers, Al at 16, and Winfield at 10. Also joining the family is Rose of Sharon's husband, Connie. So the family has decided to migrate from Oklahoma, and the first part of the novel is the preparation for the move and the migration. So there are chapters that feature the Jodes traveling through the rest of Oklahoma, the panhandle of Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and a sliver of California. And then the rest of the novel is about the Jodes living in California and trying to make it in dire straits. I really enjoyed this reread. I first read The Grapes of Wrath either late in high school or sometime in college. I don't exactly remember when. I know I picked up the novel. It was not this copy. And I think I was 16 and tried it shortly thereafter. Did not quite get on with it, but then came back to it later and really enjoyed it. And then I picked up this copy a few years ago and had a reread go of it about a year or two ago. Didn't quite work out, but this reread was really, really good. I really enjoyed this story of a family disintegrating because over the course of the novel, the Jodes as a family do disintegrate. Some family members die, others abandon the family or have to flee, and so the Jodes at the end are reduced. And as the Jodes are reduced, they become kinder and more willing to help others because in these circumstances, in times when the social fabric is fraying, if not ripping and shredding, well, you need to not only just look to the family, you also need to look to others, to other people in similar straits, because, well, one day you might need their help or somebody like themselves. So that was very interesting, especially in the face of exploitation, because in this novel, a lot of the farm work that these migrants take on are starvation wages. Um, yeah, so The Grapes of Wrath it is a powerful, wonderful novel. I really enjoyed it. Um, there are some issues, of course. Um, most of the chapters, most of the story itself is the story of the Joad family. But most of the chapters, which are smaller than or shorter than the Joad focused chapters, kind of take a step back and give a more expositionary sort of narrative of what's going on, like a wider view, which can sometimes be repetitive, or because the Joads end up having something similar happen to them either the previous chapter or their next chapter. So that can be a little bit wonky at times. But on the whole, I really enjoyed The Grapes of Wrath. Now, excuse me for a little bit, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back. So without fail, so every month I make a reading plan. And without fail, some part of that reading fail will not work. It will fail. And so for July, the failure this month was The Complete Poems by Sylvia Plath. 20 years ago, I had one collection by her. I think Colossus, but I could be wrong. But I don't remember much of it. I know I read it, but it has left a blank. So I wanted to read her work, and I just could not get into her earliest published work. It just didn't work for me. So I don't know if I'm going to come back to it or what in the future. So I flailed a bit after The Complete Poems didn't pan out. So I decided to read some short fiction. My idea was to read 2 collections of short stories on Wednesday and Thursday, but that did not work, and instead I only read 1. Selected Short Stories of John O'Hara by, of course, John O'Hara. So this is a collection of several dozen short stories, most of which are only a few pages long. There is one longer short story, A Doctor's Son. On the whole, most of these stories are about characters facing a discrete crisis or moment that reveals their character or a change. And while I enjoyed most of the stories in this collection, they're all fairly good. All of them left me, I would say it left me missing something. Like there was something missing in these stories. A more positive side of this would be like you're wanting more, but it's like there was something missing, so it didn't quite pan out as well, I think. So let's do a quick rundown. So I rather liked the decision and the moccasins. Dr. and Mrs. Parsons was good. Partner. A Phase of Life, I think I liked. The King of the Desert was pretty good. The Next to Last Dance of the Season was good. Are We Leaving Tomorrow was nice. Do you like it here? It was interesting. The Doctor's Son was nice. So yes, I mean, they were all good stories. It's just they all left me missing something, if that makes any sense. So what will I be reading this coming reading week? So today I'm going to start with the Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. This is an overdue reread. I read it last 20 plus years ago. I'm also planning to get to The Last Picture Show by Larry McMurtry. Another long overdue reread from 20 plus years ago is Housekeeping by Marilynne Robinson. And the other short story collection I had hoped to get to this week, The Secret Lives of Church Ladies by Deesha, Philyaw. So I'm fairly confident I'll be able to get to all four of these this week. Because since the 1st of August is a Saturday, I'm going to do a longer reading week this week. So instead of doing weekly reads about noon Central Time or 12:30 Central Time like I normally do lately, I'm going to do a later weekly read. So it'll be about 6:30 Central Time when I do that one. And then that Saturday, I will do my reading plan for August. So my apologies if I seem a little down or this week. My reading was largely good, but my week in general has been rather frustrating, and I've been down and I don't know what to do about it. Hopefully next week will be better, but if not, you'll at least have weekly reads and Poetry Thursday to look forward to. Hopefully I can do some tag videos and maybe do a discussion video, but we'll see. I was so excited to try to do some this week, and I didn't have the motivation. So until I see you next week, BookTube, thank you. Have a great rest of your Friday and have a good weekend.